All right, Panther Lair, we are back talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers' victory over the Murray State Racers this past Friday. Now, I just finished a video detailing Pitt's ball screen defense against Murray State and the adjustments they made between the first half and the second half. Now, I want to talk about the impact that Jaland Lowe has on the Panthers' offense. Now, we know that he is Pitt's best player. We know that he is their lead guard. And so anytime he isn't on the floor, the Panthers offense is going to struggle a little bit. And we saw that on Friday. When he checked out with 2 fouls in the first half at the 9:33 mark, Pitt was winning 27-17. When he checked back in late in the first half at the 2:05 mark, the Panthers were losing 37-36. So Murray State went on a 20-9 run over that span, and we're going to talk a little bit about why. Now, this first clip we're going to show here is when he is back on the court, but it's a pick and roll involving Ishmael Leggett and Cam Corrin, so we're going to play this out here late in the first half. Now, Leggett is a fabulous scorer out of ball screen situations. He gets so much downhill momentum. He puts a ton of pressure on the rim against the defense. He's fantastic in this way. But creating out of ball screens for other people has not always been his strength. Now, it's 2 games into the season, but he has a 10.4% assist rate. That's down a little bit from his 13.1% assist rate from last year. Granted, a ton of time for that to probably normalize, but the point being he's not necessarily a high assist percentage guy, and he doesn't always have to be on this team because he's such a blessed scorer. But we're going to see he's going to work on this inside ball screen. Murray State, a lot of drop coverage against ball screens in this game, unlike what the Radford Highlanders did. We're going to talk about that here in a second. And he's going to try to throw this lob over the top, but it's behind Corrin. So if we just go back slightly, you'll see the low man's here. The sink rate and drop is going to have him meet Corrin here. And if the ball's thrown a little bit ahead, maybe this is a play, right? If the ball's thrown out here, this is possible, but it's thrown behind him, ends up being a turnover. And again, that's just kind of part of the field. It's part of the experience. Now, when we go here in a game against Radford, you're going to see Lowe attacking the Highlanders' hedge, show, 2 to the ball type of strategy. This did not work for a variety of reasons, but mostly it's because they were just never really in a great position to execute what they wanted to. They were always in the process of getting back to the screen. So I think for them, drop would have been better because their defenders on the screener's defender never seemed to be in position. You're going to see that here. Cam Corrin's defender is going to still be in the process of trying to get to the level when Lowe goes to turn the corner. And this is, you're just going to get toast here, and Lowe gets an easy layup. Now, maybe Murray State sees this on tape. Maybe they run a lot of drop normally, but they did not hedge. They did not send 2 to the ball. They did not hard show. And so you'll see what a possession like this looks like when here's Brandon Cummings working with Cam Corrin. Lowe's on the bench at this point, and you're going to see again Cam Lindsey here in drop. And now what drop invites is drop invites a lot of outside jumpers. So while this is like a semi-contested look, and Cummings did shoot 50% on threes in this game, 1 for 2, this is much different than conceding a layup at the rim. One of the things here that makes Jaland so special is it doesn't really matter what kind of ball screen defense you use against him because he finds a way to be effective, and that makes him unique amongst the other guards on the team, at least what we've seen so far. So play this out. This is now early in the second half, and you're going to see drop coverage. In fact, they're even going to force Lowe to his right here. Lindsey in a good drop position. Corrin is obviously an aggressive roller, so you want to try to take that away. Clearly in drop, but Lowe's going to do something awesome here. He is going to snake this out. Now, drop coverage. You don't have to have a lot of help. So all these defenders were not really in position to help on this anyways. Corrin is such an aggressive roller that Lindsey is having to sink pretty quickly. And what ends up happening by snaking this back out is it gets the ball back in Jaland's dominant hand, his left hand, where he knows he loves the finish. His defender is now on his hip, and Corrin's going to serve as like a natural deterrent here for Lindsey to be able to effectively contest this at the rim. So he just shields him off. This is something that Jaland does really well. It doesn't matter if you play drop. It doesn't matter if you hard hedge him. It doesn't matter if you show him. The probably most effective strategy is to blitz hard immediately, and he has to find the player 1 pass away. But if you don't execute this, like Radford didn't execute it very well because they were in the process of getting back to the level of the screen, then he's just going to pick you apart. The issue here is that there's not another Pitt guard who's able to do this in the same efficient natural way, and that's going to be something Pitt has to figure out. So while this has established the fact that, like, hey, if you didn't think Jaland Lowe was their best player, he is, but it also signifies that this team really needs him to be on the floor for probably 35 minutes a game until they can find another player that can make decisions similar, or at least get players really good looks. I think that's probably Damian Dunn. I think Leggett could do it in a small capacity, and maybe Cummings gets there at some point as we wind down non-conference play, but this is something certainly to monitor going forward.